It's the Dave Matthews Band, 902, and the special guest in studio, a man I'm an admirer of simply because he survived and more than survived 2 full .com busts in this country. And look where he's taken Bookmyshow.com. Ashish Hemrajani is here, founder and CEO at Bookmyshow.com. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. And what a great song, Dave Matthews, South Africa. That's where I was backpacking in 1999. That's where I got the business idea under a big tree at Storms River Valley.
It's surprising because I was in King's Camp just around that time, which is 99. I went there for entirely different reasons. I was trying to mull on my personal life as opposed to you mulling on your professional life. But South Africa and the Kruger National Park, fabulous place to kind of ideate, isn't it? Yeah?
It was, and I was on a backpacking trip with some friends.
Okay.
And getting drunk at Stellenbosch over some wine, and that's when I got the business idea and I came back. So, there were no life lessons or things that I went for professionally. I was just, having a good time.
I'm curious to know, why would somebody in advertising, an account executive, client servicing, a stroke guy who's been at it for a while, suddenly decide to just chuck it all up and do his own thing?
No, I was having a good time, so no complaints there. But like I said, I was listening to a radio commercial trying to sell rugby tickets. And I said, hey, this is something that India needs. And I thought I was enlightened like the Buddha sitting under a big tree. But when I came back to India, little did I realize I was not that enlightened. It's not easy doing business. But hey, it's been a great ride. It's been 14, 15 years now. I'm really a part of the furniture in the office. But it's been a great ride.
You're being modest. But I hang on to that line. Part of the furniture. Running down a dream. It's Tom Perry. More conversation with Ashish, founder CEO, Bookmyshow.com. I'm going to get Rohit to come in and click some pictures. We're going to put them up on Twitter as well as Facebook. Don't go anywhere. Ashish Hemrajani, founder CEO, Bookmyshow.com. I guarantee this. I'm sure there are all these top 10 lists that come out of young entrepreneurs. You'll probably be in all of them, man.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Don't be modest now. Tell us if there's been a Forbes India list or something.
Yes, I am a part of many lists, but when the .com bust happened, I was a part of that list too. In 2002, I went from 150 people down to 6, including an office boy, and the only reason I can afford him was because he was my first employee. I moved from a 2,500 square foot office to a 150 square foot office, but I was a part of a different list that time. It was called the B2B and B2C. Back to banking and back to consultancy list. So, I've been a part of many lists, but the lists don't matter. And, as far as their lists on a radio song, I mean, on a album, then they're fine, but otherwise, really, they're irrelevant.
But there must have been some kind of inspiration from the West. I mean, sites like Ticketmaster were already doing their thing. Pick up a cue or two from them, just found out the way of functioning, because there is no real formula to hit it big in the Indian market. You can't take a European template and make it work here. It never works,
Well, as Steve Jobs said, we shamelessly copied. Right, so we just did it better. We still continue to do it better. We, of course, did copy the Ticketmaster model. We copied the Fandango model and any other model that you can see. So if tomorrow you were one, we would copy you as well. So,
so you're in the cloning business also, Ashish.
Absolutely.
No, but partners from New Zealand, Kiwis, tell us a little bit about those early days. To me, what fascinates me about your story is the early days. Those must have been rough ones. You just gave us a small insight of it by saying the office was small, one peon. Talk a little more about that.
So I'll tell you what happened. 1999, dreams were large. We got funded. I was 24 over, one sheet of fax. I got funded. It was great, right? The ride was fantastic. We grew a business, but the ecosystem didn't exist in India. You had no credit card, debit card penetration. You had no internet. You had no connectivity. Mobile phones were expensive. And so what really happened was that people would buy tickets on the phone and we would home deliver tickets. And we had a loss on the weekdays because nobody was buying tickets. On the weekend, we had an opportunity loss. So it really wasn't a business model which was viable. But we grew it to, look, hey, if people are a number of people are a barometer for success, we grew it to about 150 people. And then the .com bust happened. And that's when I realized few life's lessons. A dhanda should be run like a dhanda. If you earn money every day, you make money. Second was don't give anything free because it's not valued, etc., etc. And we really built the ecosystem out from 2002 to 2006. We installed software in cinemas. We ran call centers for people. We built a CRM product, things like a guy called Pappu Pelwan in Paharganj. Every third transaction, he would bang the door on us and not take his delivery. And that's when we started building these layers of CRM on whom to deliver, whom not to deliver. And then the .com, the boom happened again, and we saw it coming back, which was called .com 2.0, which was in 2006. And that's when we said, hey, listen, we need to go out back to the consumers and build a credible service. And, as they say, the rest is history. But that's really what happened. But it's been a fun ride. And had we not learned those lessons from, 2002 up until 2006, we wouldn't be running the way we do today. All our ACs are on 24. The coffee machine tastes really bad in our office. We reuse pens and papers, and we really run a tight ship. But, it's fun.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
What do you do for people like my dad who turn around and say the reason I buy out of Flipkart is because they deliver the product and I can hand over the money there when I see the product. You know how it is.
No,
the earlier generation.
No, but a customer is a customer, and he's a valid customer, and at some point of time the penny will drop and he'll turn, and I'm sure the mobile will drive that, because really that's really the driver today. And we're seeing a lot of penetration. We've got a fantastic mobile product. iOS, Android, Windows, BlackBerry, and a large part of our growth is coming from class 2, class 3 towns, and a lot of young kids buying on the mobile. I think we're the number one mobile payment type in the country currently. And it's fantastic. And I'm sure your dad will be, on one fine day, he's going to pick up the phone and actually buy a product.
No, I actually spent the weekend in Bangalore, and I was running him through your app, which is on my smartphone. And I think I've already converted him. Only a few more days.
So I'll give you my visiting card. You can hand it over to him. There's a 50 rupee coupon on it the next time. Always a salesman.
I like this stuff. It's Prince and Gold, some messages. If you tag at the rate of HRISHIKAY, or you look for facebook.com/HRISHIKAY, in a couple of minutes, pictures of Ashish, founder CEO of Bookmyshow.com, on there. So you might want to take a look. Any questions, feel free to ask too. It's 9:14, absolutely live. It's a song called Stiletto by Billy Joel. 9:26 in studio with Ashish Hemrajani. He's founder and CEO at Bookmyshow.com. And now, let's look at the flip side. The man loves sailing.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
So, have a sweet little boat. And how often do you go out on it?
I sail October to April. That's when the season is. So I race every weekend. And, the thing about
What's
sailing...
What's the boat called? What's the boat called?
No, it's on mine. I sail club boats. So I sail Lightnings, Seabirds, J24s, Lasers. But the good thing about sailing is, or the bad thing about sailing is, that great criminals make good sailors and great sailors make good criminals. And the reason... but that's only on the water. But the reason for that is that most sport have boundaries.
Yeah.
So in tennis, you've got a boundary. In racing, car racing, you've got a boundary. In sailing, there's no boundary, right? There are 3 marks. You've got to go around. You can go to Timbuktu. You can go to Dubai and come back if you want. And you use the rules to actually disadvantage your opponent, but not the other way around. And so there are no rules. There are rules that define you and govern the sport, but the boundaries are unlimited. And so therefore you're with the elements of nature, you're in control, and one mistake means the boat can topple. So that's why I think I enjoy the sport more than anything. It's a high risk reward sort of a strategy, and I guess that's something in my work as well. So it ties in pretty well.
Hemrajani Jr. seems to be picking up a cue or two. You take him sailing? Your son?
Yeah. He was 3 months old when I took him sailing for the first time to Mandwa. And I took him for a swim in the water yesterday. I was windsurfing a couple of weekends back in Pavna Lake, and I took him for a swim right in the middle of the lake in a life jacket, and he's 18 months old, Zahan,
Really?
but good fun.
My daughter's 9, so maybe we could set them up eventually. Just joking.
He'll start young, I'm telling you. I have trouble, but he's been hugging boys, and that's a cause for concern.
A simple, harmless question saying the son's name is Zahan, so is the wife Parsi, set off a sweet little story. I tell you what, I love Bawas, and the show, three major Bawas are responsible for the show. One is Kobad Mobad Jeena, the senior citizen who does the music. Horma Swarabji, who's editor of Autocar India magazine, who's my car guru, who comes in and gives all these wonderful car reviews. And of course, Mickey Mehta, my fitness expert. So I'm surrounded by beautiful Bawas. And you're a closet Bawa. Oh, you're a real Bawa, man.
No, I was born a Sindhi, I live a Bawa. It's blasphemy, but I sleep in a Sadra, gifted to be by my Bawa friends. Went to a Parsi school, Parsi nursery, Parsi piano teacher, Parsi speech teacher. Eat dhansak every Wednesday without fail. And that's, closet bow is the right word, I guess.
Founder CEO, Bookmyshow.com, California Love, Dr. Dre at 9:29. More conversation after this song. Just like I promised you guys, pictures of Ashish Hemrajani, founder and CEO at Bookmyshow.com, is up on twitter.com/HRISHIKAY and facebook.com/HRISHIKAY. Go take a look. Jimmy Karumalil, did he say that his visiting card has a 50 rupee discount voucher? Seriously? Please pay Texas, smile. Yes, brother. It looks like it. Too Blue, shooting rubber bands to the sky. That's the latest item on my to-do list. Thank you. Happy to introduce you to some good music, brother. I know you're a rocker yourself. Chirag S. Bagaria, hello. Peculiar Blend, good morning, yo. You and your guest are sharing some interesting facts on Copenhagen, playing some jolly good music. Perfect Monday. I imagine you're talking about just before Ashish coming in, and I'm sure you enjoyed the conversation in South Africa too. Okay, trends on Bookmyshow.com. You mentioned briefly off the mic that EDM is huge. What else are people buying?
So, movies obviously is in our blood, and India does 3.6 billion people go to the movies every year, which is all of North America, Africa, Middle East and Europe put together. And I think there is a long way to go because our number of screens to the number of people is still very, very unrepresented. We have 12 screens per million people as opposed to 120 per million in the US, right? And the average ticket price in India is only $50. It's an escape from reality. People use it for political gains in a lot of the southern states. Politicians come out of that. So, the bedrock of entertainment in India still is movies, obviously. But we're seeing a trend, sport, IPL, right? So we ticket for 6-7 teams, football leagues coming up, Formula 1. And then, of course, there's music. And in music, EDM for the 12 to the 30 age category, EDM, it's taken us by surprise.
It's the new rock and roll.
It is the new rock and roll. And you're right. And it's we were taken by surprise when we were ticketing, and there was a time when somebody said Swedish House Mafia is coming, right? This was 2 months before the show. And I said, Swedish who? And you've had some phenomenal sales. And now, of course, I'm on top of it. It's on my iPhone. I've got Swedish House Mafia, Vici. I've got all the EDM. And then, of course, there's... India had become really the graveyard of rockers. You had these old rock bands that used to come. But today you've got EDM. You've got a lot more music happening. Indie music, I think that is fantastic. Things like NH7 are really, really changing things around with indie music. And it's the local music which plays at local, sort of joints around your house in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. And I think there's been a sea change on how live events and music was looked at 5 or 10 years ago. And it's ever growing. It's growing by 500-600% year on year. And comedy, stand-up comedy is a huge genre now. And I think it's good because, in India, after the roti, kapra, makan, everybody's done with that now. And in depressive times, alcohol sales and entertainment sales go up. So we're not complaining.
I almost choked on my water. You are married to an old friend of mine, Merengi's Acharya. And Meher has just texted me saying, Book My Show is my hubby's company. Hope Ashish behaved himself. I'm in Pune in an ad shoot. Can't hear him, but I'm sure he'll be great fun.
Well, you've got that wrong. I'm not married to her. She's married to the co-founder at Book My Show. That is Rick.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know. So Rick is married to Merengi's, right?
Yes.
Lovely girl. She used to do some radio with me, man.
Yes.
In the days of yore, and is a fabulous radio presenter. So Rick is your partner.
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. And Rick is the Kiwi partner?
No, we have a technology partner which that's Murray Holdaway. Mm-hmm. And 1999 we partnered with him, and we've had a great run. In fact, because of that we launched Book My Show in New Zealand as well. Mm-hmm. So we have Book My Show running in New Zealand and Australia as well. So
super, man. Yeah. Indian company going across the 7 seas.
Yeah, but India is where the story is. So
yeah, it is. It really is. We're going to have more conversation, some messages and some music coming up with Ashish, CEO, founder at Bookmyshow.com.